Tell me the difference in the Muwatta and the Mudawwana. Yeah, the Muwatta is a collection of hadith by Imam Malik, in which he does comment as well. He gives his viewpoints, and you can kind of sense an ideology loosely. I'm using the word ideology, but methodology, I guess. You can loosely sense it. It's in the background, and it's got about, it varies the narrations, probably about 1800, approximately 1900, some maybe 2000 hadith in the book. What is interesting is Imam Malik, what is interesting is Imam Malik does, he does state after certain hadith, we don't follow this hadith, which is interesting because he's presenting the concept that the hadith is sahih. It comes with the silsila dhahabiyya, the golden chain, which is considered by Imam Bukhari, the most authentic chain in Islam, which is Malik an Nafi' an Ibn Umar from the Prophet. So it's just two people between Malik and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he, even with certain hadith with the golden chain, silsila dhahabiyya, he rejects them. Says, I don't, we don't. It's not about him rejecting it. He's saying, he's teaching you a methodology. He's saying that we don't practice according to this hadith. It's got a meaning, sure. What does it mean? What is its reality? We don't know, because we don't practice according to it. And that's, you start to see the difference between the madrasa to Ahl al-Ra'i and the madrasa to Ahl al-Hadith, which is a distinction. And it's interesting because Imam Malik is also madrasa to Ahl al-Hadith, but he's also about Ra'i, about that, reason, the voice of reason. So I think that's fascinating. Right, so that's fascinating. Now, the Mudawwana is different. The Mudawwana is fiqhi ruling. So people have, what you had was some of his students, or if you like, their disciples, what they decided to do is there was a bunch of, it's like saying there were so many class notes that were being passed down. So people would attend Imam Malik's lecture, they would write notes, and these were known as sama'at. And they would call them sama'at, or the asmi'a of, which is plural, both are plural, of, let's say, such, and they were named after the student. So the sama'at of, let's say, Ashhab, or the sama'at of such and such person, or Ibn Abd al-Hakam, or so on. Now, people would take their notes and say, oh, so Imam Malik said this. So Sahnun wanted to refine it. And so he actually took, it wasn't the sama'at, he took the from Asad ibn al-Furat, who was a student of Imam Malik, who actually created a unique text. What he did is he went to the Hanafi heartlands, and he took down notes of Hanafi fiqh contrasted with Maliki fiqh. And this was the first ever, comparative fiqh book called the Mukhtalata. So he makes this, and what happens is he comes back and he wants to, because his fiqh with Maliki fiqh was weak, so he wants to get it from, Imam Malik has passed away when he comes back, and so he goes to the key students and gets their answers to the Hanafi ones and what he thinks is Maliki fiqh. So he says, what's the answer to this? What's the answer to this? And they keep saying, we think, I feel it was like this. But it's okay if you're saying, I feel, or I think, but they're saying, I think Imam Malik would have said this. So it's different. So he writes it down, and this becomes his book, the Mukhtalita. And what happens is Sahnun, he reads it and thinks, what, this book would be epic if we kind of structured it and we put it in order, and we gave it sequence, and we put hadith in there, and we put some evidences, and we got rid of all this I think and just had it categorized. So he goes to Ibn al-Qasim and says, look, let's do this. And Ibn al-Qasim eventually agrees, and he refines the Mukhtalata, and this becomes known as the Mudawwana. So it is basically a series of, which is probably in print in about 5 volumes, maybe depends on the publishing house, and it has about 30, maybe 35,000 questions in there which are being answered, and where the person is saying that Ibn Qasim is saying, I asked Imam Malik about this and he said this, I asked him about this and he said this. So that's what it is. It's a fiqh book. But then there's other fiqh books in the Maliki madhab. This was Ibn Qasim's, but other people did it as well, other students. So like Ibn Abdul Hakam, he would have had the Mukhtasar, the Majmu' of Ibn Abdus. You would have had the Mawaziyah. So there were many other texts that were being documented as well. But that's a lengthy discussion for another day, inshallah.